Hey, welcome back to another edition of In the Kitchen with Anthony. Today's episode is going to be all about Carla's Pasta. So Carla's Pasta is out of South Windsor, Connecticut, and this is truly the feel-good American dream story when it comes to Carla and how she started this. Carla came to the States at age 27, and she didn't speak a word of English. Okay, she came here with her husband. And the one thing that she knew is she knew how to make pasta in the old Italian style. So in 1978, she decided to open up her first store. And then as she's making her filled pastas, she also started making her homemade sauces and pestos, taking all of the tradition from back in Italy and brought it here to America. So right after that, with the help of her two sons, Sandro and Sergio, who the three of them today are at the helm still, controlling and running all the day-to-day, all of the R&D, all of the innovation. I mean, they are truly hands-on operators, and they're really a small business. They just happen to expand their products across the United States, but truly a small family business. So Carla's the main thing that she does is really nothing but filled pastas. Yes, there are a lot of other fresh pastas, and she does some breaded eggplant cutlets and things like that, but this is what she's known for. And we've got a variety, a small variety at that, of what we're going to kind of show you today and walk through. Just to give you an idea of the innovation, the flavors and things like that. Yes, she makes a traditional cheese ravioli, but we're going to take things a little bit further. So one of the items here, this came out about a year ago, is our sweet potato gnocchi. So a gnocchi is a potato dumpling with flour and egg, and they're shaped into these beautiful sort of quenelle styles, but it's with sweet potato as the main potato ingredient. So yeah, we think sweet potato, we think fall, but sweet potato is really one of those healthy potatoes that really can be used all year long. Over here, we have our lobster ravioli. So what you're kind of noticing is I don't have two different raviolis here. I actually have the same ravioli, and what they are two different doughs on each side. One with a tomato dough and one with an egg dough that has some herbs in there. And then inside, real chunks of lobster, ricotta, Romano cheese, all filled in this perfect little pastry. So what makes Carla so different, aside from flavoring, is the fact that when she makes her pasta dough, she uses a true traditional laminate style. So what does that mean? So when you laminate a pasta, think about the old-fashioned, or you can hook it up to your KitchenAid right now. It's steel rollers where the pasta goes through, and as it goes through, you change the levels of thickness on it till you get to that perfect consistency. And what that's doing is, that's actually almost taking the place of re-kneading the dough because it's going through these rollers. And what you want in a good ravioli or a good filled pasta is you want a thin pasta shell, but has the integrity that's going to be held up between boiling and sauteing with the sauce and tossing and things like that. So that's what you're getting out of Carla's pasta right now. So going back to this dough, what I want to explain to you is, so there's a lot of companies out there that make striped or different colored flavored, different colored raviolis. And, you know, as an operator, this is the one thing I want you to remember. If you're using a ravioli that has either striping or two different colors, okay, if you open up that ravioli, and I'm going to kind of take one apart for you right now, and what you're going to see is you see on the inside, it's the same color for both sides of that dough. So you have your herbed egg pasta and you have your tomato dough. Very few manufacturers out there do this. When you get to be striped or colored, usually it's the same egg dough, and then as it goes through the line, the flavor or the color is actually sprayed on, and what you'll notice on that, you'll just get it on the outside. With Carla's, you're getting the true dough on both sides because it's two different doughs coming together, okay? So as you can see here with this lobster ravioli, and hopefully you can get a good view of this, you have a lobster meat, and as you can see the striations of that lobster meat in there, with a little bit of ricotta and cheese just to kind of bind it together. But this is truly a lobster-filled pasta, okay? So over here, we have, again, it's a little bit of a fish theme here. We're staying with our crab ravioli. Again, this is going to be blue crab. And look, I'm going to open that up for you again. Do you see what I mean about the striping on the inside? for my operators out there, try this. If you're using a striped ravioli right now, try this and see if you're actually getting what you're paying for, which is truly two different doughs coming together and not just airbrushed on the outside, okay? This one here is my new favorite. This only came out maybe about 7-8 months ago. This is a gorgonzola and walnut ravioli. Again, striped both egg and spinach. Again, you have a beautiful appearance, but the flavor inside here, you get that punginess and that sharpness to the gorgonzola. Perfect pairing, adding in some chopped walnuts in there, a little bit of ricotta and some cheese, again, to bind that all together and give you a creamy, smooth consistency and that perfect bite on the outside, okay? Here, we have another unique pasta. It's called the sacchetti. So the sacchetti is basically, look at this. This looks like it's been made by hand. Look how perfect these are. Basically a square cut egg pasta dough that is stuffed with a little ricotta, herbs, and cheese, pinched together, okay? And these, when they come out of the water, they hold perfectly their shape. This is truly elegant. This could be as an appetizer that you can kind of serve with a skewer, or again, in a beautiful bowl of pasta with a nice light sauce to it. One of the other items, and again, this is another thing that makes Carla's very different when it comes to her tortellinis. And if you buy a rainbow tortellini, and there's a lot of them out there, what you're normally going to find in your box is that you'll have half of the pasta weight will be all egg noodles. Then you'll have 25% tomato, 25% spinach. And the reason for that, obviously, it's more money, it's more work to do this. Carla says, no, we make this dough all the time. This is a standard for us. We don't want to cut any corners. We're going to give you equal weights and equal portions of each one of those tortellinis. That is important when you want to make sure you're giving your customer, that equal variety. The other thing too is, because they come in separate bags, if you want to do for a lunch special, you want to do just an egg, and then you want to change your special and do just a tomato or a spinach, now you have that opportunity and that option to do so. We put that control back into your hands, the operator. So again, small sampling of the pastas, but let me talk to you about something that they really just knock out of the park as well, and that's going to be our line of pesto sauces. So pesto, when you think pesto, automatically you think basil. Basil, garlic, pine nuts, olive oil, and that's a traditional, most common pesto. But pesto is really anything that's chopped and ground and put together, mixed with some olive oil and some seasonings. And we have a perfect example of that. So first of all, let's talk about the packaging. Again, you have a lot of pestos out there. This comes frozen, okay? So when something is frozen, when it comes to herbs, very, very minimally processed, very clean ingredients, okay? So that, you can hold the integrity and the flavor of the product. A lot of products we see out there are in jars, and they have a lot of preservatives in there. The basil is not very vibrant in there. But when it comes to the breadth of different pestos, nobody has more than Carla's does. So let's kind of talk through this a little bit. First, the traditional. This is a traditional Genovese basil pesto that has whole baby pine nuts in there, garlic, extra virgin olive oil, and Romano cheese. Okay, we also make this without pine nuts for those of you who want to abstain from any tree nuts. The other item here, sun-dried tomato pesto. So this is ground sun-dried tomatoes, garlic, oregano, basil, extra virgin olive oil, pinoli nuts, all together in such a beautiful, robust flavor and robust color to it. And as you can see, these pouches are fully resealable. The other one, another one of my favorites, is a roasted pepper pesto sauce. So red roasted peppers, garlic, again, extra virgin olive oil. That's a theme throughout all of this. You have to have quality oil to make a quality pesto. Otherwise, you're gonna have aftertaste, or when you take it out, you're gonna see some congealing of that oil that can't hold up very well in the freezer. Over here, mushroom pesto sauce. So cremini mushrooms, portobello, domestic button mushrooms, extra virgin olive oil, Romano cheese. And again, something like this doesn't have to be for pasta. Finish a steak, spread some of this mushroom pesto on there, maybe a little bit of gorgonzola cheese or blue cheese, and you have a nice crusting for a steak. This, one of the most unique ones, is a chipotle pepper sauce. So we have chipotle peppers, red and green bell peppers, we have garlic, we have a little bit of Latin seasonings in there, and olive oil. Okay, something very unique and something very different. Okay? So the last thing on the lineup, and just so you can get a little bit of a view, I'm going to put these down, is she just came out with risotto. Now, this is probably the perfect product at the perfect time because of the way they're packaged. They're packaged in individual portions, frozen. Okay, so what this does is this is capturing the fully cooked risotto. This is capturing the cream, the butter, the little bit of Parmesan cheese that's in here, and in a single serve package. So let's face it, these days, a lot of our operators don't really want to overstock on a lot of ingredients. This is perfect. All you have to do is actually microwave this, and I know that's a sacrilege for any of us chefs out here, but you can saute it in a pan too. Defrost it, put it in a pan, add a little bit of back some more cream to it, just because you're cooking it under an open flame, and then flavor it however you want to build upon it, or a perfect side item. So for ease of use, I had this in the microwave, 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes, depending on your microwave. Commercial microwave may be a little stronger. And all we're gonna do is we're gonna open this up. Now again, this already has all of the dairy components and the Parmesan cheese in there, okay? But we're gonna, again, enhance this just a little bit more, okay? And we are gonna, let's see, what are we gonna make? Let's do the sun-dried tomato pesto. So we've got the single portion risotto. We're gonna add a tablespoon and a half, 2 tablespoons of the sun-dried tomato pesto. And we're just gonna mix this up, okay? The thing about this too is that risotto, even though it's cooked, you're still getting an al dente bite that you want because, let's face it, we all know risotto can go really mushy really quick, or coming out of a frozen container could be really hard and never really soften up. So look at that. Just a couple of tablespoons of sun-dried tomato pesto, putting that right into a bowl. And you can see, this is a really nice portion in a single serving size, okay? So very easy to do. If we were doing this in a meal kit, I would defrost this, I'd put it in a to-go container, so again, that the consumer doesn't see the full packaging of it all, and just put a small ramekin of any one of our pestos or any one of your signature sauces, and the operator, all they have to do is microwave it, mix it, and put it together at home. So, I gotta taste this, I mean, come on. Oh my God. So, the risotto's creamy, al dente still a little bit, which is what you want. I got the Parmesan flavor from the risotto originally, but then when I throw in that sun-dried tomato pesto, and I'm getting garlic and basil and the piñon nuts and everything that's in there, this really knocks it out of the park. So, just to conclude a little bit, Carla's pasta really is our premium filled pastas and sauces. And if you have the opportunity, most of these are going to be stocked at all of your local distributors. But if you need help finding these pastas, or if you need samples, reach out to me, Anthony Marola, at amarola@acosta.com. You can go on our Acosta Food Service website at www.acostafoodservice.com. Or if you want to just review any of these products again, I have a YouTube channel of In the Kitchen with Anthony. It'll be on Facebook and on Instagram. And I hope you have the opportunity to try these pastas and enjoy them the way I do. So until next time, take care.